So today's marketing panel is for you, and I just want to remind everyone, so these people do this day in and day out, and there are so many facets and layers to what they do, and I asked them to please put it all together in a package of 5 minutes each. So that so if you thought about explaining your entire business and what you do and how to do it and provide practical tips in 5 minutes, you can imagine how difficult that is. So the idea is that they leave you with some tips that you can use right away. And then also the desire to contact them further if you like what they said, if that resonates for your business and you want to continue the conversation. All right, are you ready to introduce yourself, Jorge? So we're going to do a quick round of intros with each panelist and then they're going to speak. So you're first.
All right, so my name is Jorge Villalonga. I run Agency Crate. What we do is like if your business needs more visibility, that's what we work with. We give you more visibility. We make people find you on the search, social media, and any digital media.
Good morning. My name is Olivia, and I own OMS Marketing, a social media marketing company that helps you shine online.
Tina Daniels, and I am a multimedia branding specialist and publisher of two exclusive publications called Trinity Living and Dolphin River Living and Incorporation.
So marketing, I'm Lindsay Williams with Swag Marketing. We have promotions that stick. We get you everything from a cookie to a tent. We can get your logo on it.
All right, so I put something up on the screen that I think is going to summarize entirely why we're here today. If they can't find you, they can't choose you, right? So Jorge is here to tell us about that, but I have to cue up his slides. Floor is yours.
All right. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. All right, so let me start with this. Let me ask you something. How many of you have Googled a business before calling them? Anyone? All right, so everyone does it, right? And what that person finds at that moment, it decides everything. It decides if they're gonna get your business or not. So the question is simple. Will you be found or will you be forgotten? That's the whole talk today. Social creates curiosity, search confirms that trust. All right, so now before we get into the why, what we do is pretty simple. We help you get found. We help you show up when people are searching for what you do, not because of the name of the business, because what you do. So we help you build trust across the search, maps, and your website. And we help you convert that interest into calls, leads, and customers. All right, so let me ask you another one. How many of you posted something on social media and felt like nobody saw it? Anyone? All right, so you're not crazy. Everybody, that happens to everyone. It happens to me. I know it happens to you too. So at this moment, we may believe that social media is dying, but social media didn't die. It just changed. So before, it used to be you post something and your followers, they see it. And that's not how it works anymore. So now the platform decides what they show to the people who follow you and the people who don't follow you that, and they found you too. So look at it this way. Social media nowadays is a discovery. It's not anymore a delivery. It's not delivering any services, it's not delivering anything. So you have to get the attention of the people. So here's the thing that nobody wants to hear. You posted something last week. Your friends liked it, right? Your neighbor commented. Someone shared it on your family. It feels good, right? But here's the truth. Your friends liked it, but that's not a lead. That person is not gonna buy your services. So did anyone then of your friends buy your services when they like they comment on that post? So Likes nowadays, it shows attention. Search shows the intent of that. All right, so let's say someone is searching. Let's make it real. Think about the last time you needed a plumber or a dentist, or you looking for a restaurant. What did you actually look for? Anyone? Reviews? Images? Right, so you look at the reviews and photos, right? So if the profile had no photos and had a review from like 2019, you get scrolling. What do you think? Like, oh, the business is not running anymore, right? So it takes 5 seconds. 5 seconds for you to get their attention. 5 seconds to show them the website that is not confusing, or if that doesn't happen, you lost the client, right? So let's say you look at the website and it's slow, ugly, and confusing, right? What did you do? You called the next person on the list, right? All right, so here's the key. They search you most of the time to verify you. They're not searching to find you. They already found you, they got to your website. They're searching to see if you look credible, right? Again, they already found you. They're searching to see if they can trust you. So now you might be thinking, all right, I get it. So what do I actually do with all of this? All right, so that's what we built to for you. That's what we do at Agency Create. So first, we do the technical SEO. If Google cannot read your site, and it means that you don't exist, right? Because nobody can find you. Second, local SEO, your Google profile, your maps listing. This is one of the highest ROIs that you can focus on. Third, content strategy. You're a roofer in Wesley Chapel, right? You need a page that says exactly that you're a roofer in Wesley Chapel and shows them what do you offer. So fourth, what we do, we connect all of it. We connect this website, we connect the social media, the Google profile, and the AI search. Same story everywhere and all of the platforms. Right, so one last thing before I finish. Raise your hand if you have spent money on ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, any ads. All right, now keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. If the moment you stop paying for those ads, you stop getting leads or getting calls.
Yeah, it stops it. And this is like, no,
All right, so ads, they amplify what you have on your website and they amplify what you have on your social media. But that's renting. That's not owning, that's renting. Ads are rent. Search is visibility and ownership. So let me give you some example. Tesla, Trader Joe's, Costco, Zara, they don't pay ads. They don't spend money on that much on ads. What they spend, they build the visibility to people to find them. And that's what we're talking about right now. So here's the difference. When you build your Google presence, your websites, the reviews, your social media, the work that you do, it stays. It shows up tomorrow, it shows up next month, next year, and it compounds over time. All right, so that's what Agency Create builds, the foundation behind that visibility. All right, so let's see. There you go, little things.
You're all good.
All right, so that's it for me today. Thank you for scan the QR code if you need any help.
Yeah, if anyone would like to connect with Jorge after today, you can find his website and information by scanning that QR. All right, good job, Jorge. Yeah. I just need a couple seconds to get you queued up. Can you get them? You didn't lock yourself in. No. I think. I just need to put it up here so that I can put your slide up. Sorry, I had to come back to the car.
That's why you felt lost when you were done. You never noticed it. But you weren't, but you weren't so much, you were so good, so much.
Never.
Awesome, sir, awesome.
I'll tell you why I was waiting. Building your Google business profile is one of the most beneficial things I think you can do. It really, like we started really focusing on that, and I definitely feel like we saw really good, return from that, and definitely
You're awesome.
brings really good visibility.
But there's
definitely
more
can.
than just Google, guys, you
Right.
can't forget all the other critters that are out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Things such as Apple.
So, yeah,
you know,
I think that's what Olivia's gonna do. Yeah, she said critters. Critters. All right, so Jorge, yeah, this is
Yeah.
Jorge taught us about the foundation, about visibility, and it's important. So next, let's dive a little bit into social media. Olivia, I guess maybe talk for a second about who you serve and kind of what you do.
Yeah, so we help small and medium-sized businesses establish a social media presence online. So think of all those necessary evils, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even Pinterest and YouTube, all those platforms just to help get your name out there and get you established and build brand credibility and recognition.
Cool. So once that's kind of established, how do people see you consistently?
Yeah, so consistently posting. And I know you're busy and you're a business owner and you have so much going on, you have to take care of your business, do the inventory, take care of your customers, your patients, but consistently posting really gets your name out there, gets the algorithm on your side. So I definitely don't take that lightly, but because I have myself, I get it more than anybody, but consistently posting keeps your company top of mind, it builds credibility, and it makes your audience connected to your brand. So even small, consistent efforts of posting make a big impact over time.
Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to share like a personal vulnerability here, okay? Consistently posting garbage is still garbage. And I found for a while I was consistently posting, but I wasn't posting the right things. So could you let us know a little bit about what you're seeing right now? Like what's worth it to post for content and what's a complete waste of time?
Okay.
She only answered like 5 minutes.
That's how I write it down. So okay. So reels. Reels are worth your time. They're trending overall. Short form video is dominating across platforms. Think about it. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, kind of the same thing as a reel. And look at YouTube now, even with YouTube Shorts. So reels are definitely dominating. And if you take anything away from this, go to your house, take a quick video, post a reel, and look at your analytics because it's definitely going to boost the views. A complete waste of time. My famous line, posting just to post. I always say at OMS marketing, we don't post just to post, we post with purpose. So posting without strategy is a waste of time. Instead, you need to focus on content that frequently answers questions that you're asked all the time as a business owner, or that showcases your brand, your expertise, and your brand's personality. If you're comfortable recreating a TikTok trend, you're getting a little silly behind the camera, people love that and they resonate with that. So definitely post with strategy.
Perfect. So I know if anyone else is like me, you're thinking, gosh, I'm really busy. I hear reels, I hear funny trending TikTok things. Like if you were you are a super busy business owner. Sorry, that was a really wrong way to lead into that question. Because you're a really busy business owner, what types of, what would you prioritize if you had very limited time in the week to do that? What's the highest like bang for your buck there?
I wouldn't post. I'm I like 3 times a week, but we'll just say one, okay? If you could just post once a week and take a look at your analytics, it'll give you a little bit of a lead as to what your audience is resonating with and kind of where you want to zone more into with social media. So you don't have to replicate every trending TikTok or every trending sound. You don't need to exhaust yourself. Just kind of establish your social media presence, post once a week, take a look at those analytics, and it kind of leads you in the right direction.
Okay, so you're talking a little bit about analytics, you're talking a little bit about realistic content posting for business owners. What is content that converts versus content that you're not seeing convert?
So obviously it's different for every business. I can't go into everybody's business suite and look at your analytics and give you an answer, but I'm gonna give you a blanket statement, which is kind of reiterating what I just said before would be your analytics. Analytics plus strategy equals results. So you can get that good return on investment through your social media efforts. So within your analytics, it shows you what's working, what content performs best, who your audience is, and how they're engaging. So content that converts is not random. It's created based on what your audience already responds to. And that's in your analytics. It's free information. It's key to moving forward with your strategy. So don't guess, use your data, dive into your analytics and identify what's truly resonating and then do more of that.
Awesome. So, $1 million question, okay? If everyone in this room could post one thing this week, what would actually move the needle?
Post reel and engage with your audience. If people comment, definitely comment back. And think of big brands, Wendy's, Slim Jim, they all have crazy, witty personalities. You can really give yourself any brand personality that you want through social media. So think about that when responding to your audience, stay unique and true to you and post the reel. And I will too. I'll post the reel this week and we can all do it together. And I'll like it and I'll share it. Just post a reel and answer a question maybe you get all the time. Or if you're feeling bold, recreate that trend and just send it. You just start somewhere.
Wonderful. That's really beautiful. Thank you, Olivia, very much. You did it. So now your foundation is built, your social media content strategy is improved. Now let's talk about getting everything aligned with Miss Tina O'Daniels. All right, Tina. Good morning. Thank you for being here, by the way. I know everyone elected to do this, right? So
Putting us through the story.
we appreciate it.
How many extra points are you getting?
Yes.
She only had me.
All right, so we hear these words thrown around all the time, right? Branding, marketing, advertising, and they get used interchangeably. I doubt that they're very interchangeable. They have a unique, distinct difference, and I know that you wanted to talk to us a little bit about that today. So
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna
do it.
Okay, much better on my feet. Sorry, guys. All right, so the deal with all these words, advertising, branding, marketing, they really are all different pieces, guys. So let's break this down. Okay, advertising. Think of the spectrum of advertising. Hopefully I don't go too far. The spectrum of advertising is everything from call to action coupons to direct mail pieces, all the way to billboards and everything in between. Pens, t-shirts, the beautiful swag pieces. That's fun, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant, girl. Brilliant. That is an advertising tool. Your shirts, your wraps, your website is actually a tool. Your Facebook page is actually a tool. Okay, when those tools are put together in a plan that's strategic, then it's called a marketing plan. You guys have never heard of an advertising plan before, right? That's because it's not. Okay, advertising, think of advertising are all the tools, right? So if you put all the tools together in this beautiful box with strategy and consistency, and then you tie it with a big ass bow. Oops, sorry. You tie it to the support. Oh, right? The bow is the promotion. The promotion is your action. You're pushing towards what you want. It's your energy of what you're doing with those different tools. You're thinking now, what energy is with a billboard besides the fortune? I did skip a word in between. Okay. It's a fortune. However, it's a tool, right? And all those tools with your marketing plan all build into branding. This is not branding. This is a tool that works towards marketing, that builds towards brand. Now think about which of the companies in the area are truly, truly branded. RJ Hilton. They're everywhere. Right? But I even sit and we're talking with Tana. I said, Tana, how do you know your return on investment on all these different pieces? Do you have your people asking where they see you? More importantly, don't just ask that question. Where else have I been seen? Because so we see people over and over again. So the consistency is that using the advertising tools over and over and over again. Which tools work best when? Right? Then you tie it with a bow. It's called a marketing plan. When are you using which tools at which time of year to push out different products? Okay, to push out different services, right? So then the bow is the strategy wrapped around that box and then becomes that marketing plan that allows you to truly be branded, guys. To truly be branding. So if you're looking at a Holiday Inns, they're branded. IHOP, think about which State Farm. Some of them we can even think of the tunes because they've been so oh my gosh, the Chick-fil-A. That thing drives me nuts. But guess what? Every time you hear it, you know it's Chick-fil-A. So how do we help ourselves get to that level of branding? And the bottom line, and you said it a million times, Olivia, consistency. Consistency. So sorry.
No, you're fine. Why are you apologizing? Gosh, I know, right?
We've been doing this a lot of years, guys. Decades.
Well, thank you. So how do print and digital actually work together? I know you do both.
Yeah, we do both. Okay, so print's not dead, guys. Print's not everything that print is dead. Print has been around a long time. It's still growing by leaps and bounds. We wouldn't have 1,300 magazines across all of North America if print was dead. And things are growing and we're in the billions of impressions. However, very excited to have been able to complement print with all the digital. And that's where everything works together. It's that consistency of being seen over and over and over again. Where are different types of people going to see you? Because guess what? Where's my roofer in here? All right, you don't need a roof until you flipping need a roof. Okay, so when I need a roof, making one of the most expensive, bigger than cars now, guys, sometimes, one of the most expensive investments on my house, I need to have something in mind when I need it. Who are those top folks that I have seen so that I can start giving a call? Because if I say, hey Siri, give me a roof. By the way, that's Apple, not Google. That's Apple. You gotta be everywhere, guys. You gotta be everywhere. You just can't be on Google. Google's not everything. Yes, it's one of the biggest out there, but it's not everything. Okay. Because I could look for somebody if you don't have if you're not looking for something. Oh my gosh, it was a company I went to go visit. I couldn't find her anywhere because she was never listed. I'm using Siri, man. I'm on Apple. See what I'm saying? And she wasn't listed. I couldn't find her. Not good thing. We talked about that. No. However, forgot where I was. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
You don't need a roof until you flip and need a roof. But I would like to know. I would like to have at least a handful of folks that I can narrow down. So when I go in and say, "Hey Siri, give me some roofers," that at least the top 5 or 6, I have seen them somewhere before. Ooh, they look familiar. Ooh, let me give them a call and check out their reviews. Another thing with reviews, I don't know if you've got to get those answered within 12 hours. That's the new. Do not go to bed. Do not go to sleep without answering your reviews before you go to sleep, guys. Okay? Huge analytics. Huge analytics. Thank you, guys. You can't be here this morning.
Wow, that is her unloaded. Awesome. Thank you. So Tina, I love that was a strong point about how it's not about one, it's about alignment for the whole picture. So thank you very much. And if anyone wants to get in touch with you, we'll let them know how. All right, Lindsay.
Good morning. So I'm super excited to get to talk to you guys about the marketing side because we always talk about the party rental business mostly because it's newer and I'm growing that. But the marketing business I've had forever, a long time, and that's kind of my space. and my true passion where I love the most. So excited to talk to you about that. And what's interesting is Olivia and Tina mentioned one of the things that I was going to talk about the most, intention and consistency. The biggest thing of how you can waste money on anything, whether it be a promo product, a mailer, Google Ads, or whatever, is you're doing it because you think you should be doing it, but you have no intention and no plan as to why you're doing it. So promo products are one of the oldest forms of marketing. They're still around because they work. And so one of the biggest things like Tina was talking about is it's getting people to recognize your logo, right? So a promo item, like I handed everyone gum, probably gonna throw in your purse, your bag, you'll keep it. Every time you pull out that gum, you're seeing my logo. We hand out Frisbees all the time because obviously for the party runner, we're trying to, promote to kids. And so my hope is then, when you're handing out, they see your logo, then when they go Google, when they recognize your logo, even if they've never done business with you or they don't even know you, it builds the trust. Just because they recognize the logo, it automatically will make you stand out on that Google search. So that's one of the biggest things that promo can do for you. Because I'm just gonna use the same type of example, the roofer. There's kind of two types of people, right? Or two types of things that you're doing in your business. You're either a type of business like a roof, or like we've got a party where they don't need you every day. It's when they have their thing they're trying to remind, versus like a company where you're more creating a need. I sold Cutco back in the day. I don't know if anyone ever sold Cutco knives, but I did that. But when we went into the presentation, that was all about creating a need, right? Because we were using people's knives, showing how they were dull. And so we were creating a need and creating it to happen right then. But for the businesses where you're not really creating the need, it's more they need to have the need. That's one where promo can really help win, because they've got your logo, they're remembering around, the kids playing with the Frisbee all the time. I'm hoping they associate that with when they, bounce on the bounce house. So that is kind of that. The other thing that is great about promo is, again, kind of how Tina talked about, is it's all the package together, right? So promo and people seeing your logo out in real life, in person, brings more value to all your Google and online and social media and all that. It kind of packages it all together.
So I agree with promo. We're historically known for it, notorious for it, actually. We ask you 3 times a year to give us promotional items for swag bags for our upcoming events. So Lindsay, in your experience, I get this question a lot, okay? What makes promotional products actually work versus just being stuff in a bag?
Yeah. So again, the biggest thing with this is that it's done with intention. That it's not just a random item that you're throwing in there, that you really think about the recipient and the event, right? So think about who are the people, like for me, I try to attract the kids a lot, right? Or moms, but someone else might be trying to attract the marketing people out of business or whatever. So you have to really think about who is the item going to and how are they going to use it? Because obviously you want them to keep and use it. The other thing to think about is the events that you're at. So like when you're putting items in a golf tournament, well, then it's nice to do a golf towel or tees, So again, it's all just thinking about kind of with intention. The other thing you can think about is how it relates to your business. DNR Pest Control does those fly swatters, and that's a great one, right? They're bugs, pests, so it relates to their business.
And useful.
Yeah, right? So the things you're really thinking about, what's useful, does it help either relate to your business or the people you're giving it to or the events that you're at. For example, if you're at a back to school event, it'd be great to give out rulers, something the kids are going to use, things like that. Or another great one that a lot of promo is with is like employees and employee like recognition and giving out gifts in that way. So again, thinking about who's gonna get it.
So I'm going to ask a question that might resonate with a couple people in the room, maybe 1 or 2. We've all wasted money on swag before, right? Yeah. So what can you tell us? Can you give us an insider's perspective on what's just an absolute waste of money?
Yes. So again, same thing, you waste money when it's not done with intention. It's not an item, right? But the other thing is think about the items that you have the most branded of, and then you don't want to give those up. So like, koozies and cups are really overdone. They can be useful in this area, but they're something that a lot of people do. Tumblers, water bottles, all those type of things are, unless like a really, really nice cup or tumbler or water bottle people are going to keep. But unless that, they're probably not going to keep it because they've gotten a million of it. The other thing is the big pen debate, right? So there's two kind of sides to it. One thing that's great about a pen, and I still do pens bunch because people always use them and they always keep them. But if that is a good item you would maybe give someone, I wouldn't put it in a swag bag though, because that's something that might get more lost in a bigger bag like that. But maybe instead of a pen, you throw in like a highlighter or a Sharpie with your logo, something like that, just so that like you stand out a little bit, because obviously there's different ways you're using the swag. So like if you're at an event handing something to someone, that's going to be like a different item than if you're putting something in a swag bag where you maybe want to stand out a little more. That would be
Nice. So final,
all strategy.
just to keep us on time, final question for you.
Yeah.
What is one smart way, like a really smart way to use your branded products to stay top of mind?
Yes, so I would say the biggest way to use it is to use it, the best thing is to use it in a campaign and in relation to something else. Like a really cool, like, Tina was saying, Prince Not Dead. We do mailers and they're super successful for us. Not to residential, but to like
Pizza box.
churches, yes, the pizzas and those. And so again, it's thinking about your it all together, but like you can do what we call like a lumpy mail. So we had an electrical contractor, they were going to a show, and so we made little poker chips that had their logo and it was on a flyer that they put. So lumpy mail is like something you're putting something else in there, so people are more likely to open it. So they're like, what is this, right? And then part of the promo was then when they sent that out to the attendees prior to the event, and then when they get to the event, like the card said, bring us this poker chip and you get a free gift or whatever. So it drove traffic to their booth. So it's anything thinking about intention and the idea. That's the biggest thing with any of the marketing. But with promo, if you're just like, oh, I need somebody to spend, let me grab some pens or let me grab whatever, you're not being as more effective as you can be if it's related into your whole idea. And other thing I just want to make sure everyone knows, because again, I don't talk about the promo that much, but we always do 10% off for all WPBA members. And then when we're doing the swag bag events, we do 25% off for things. So I encourage for the link reviews. So if you ever need stuff like that. And then yeah, I guess is that the are we
Yeah.
ending up
No, you can definitely do the price.
so it's now okay. So if everyone look on the back, I have little prizes. There's a 1 and a 2. Whoever has a 1 gets this nice, and whoever has a 2 gets this cool water bottle. What do you know? What you got? You got a 2! Yay!